His video is like my user one would let me explain. He said I started to make a video of Post Scorcher Elementa. Many have asked about the Lord of Treasures videos. Although I explained that in each unique go into the description of several of my videos, many of my subscribers still don't know about the Lord of Elementa, the Scorcher and several leaders of the faction. So let's start with the video. The book I am making is his alarm. We want the creator of Elementa. There is no other than classical music man.
Hi, I am Classical Music Man. Me and December's Tom's 2K5 are going to explain the lore of Elementa together in this video.
So let's start with the video. Elementa is a out of TNO by just new one, also known as Classical Music Man in Eireann now. The plot of his out is based in the fiction Contra Elementa, which after the fall of the emperor culture of the Domus or House of S. Malaki falls into a chaotic civil war between various factions like Copartists, Gamenes, Republicans, Militaries, Human Militia, and Satirists who fight with one objective: unify the house of the former empire of Elementa.
To understand what the Elementan Empire and Emperor Scorcher were, we must go back many years in the past, to be specific in the year 22,573 BCE in another galaxy. In that year the House of Regedan, which centuries later would be called Es Malaki, was formed by Antifo Regedan during the Tribal Era and remained a minor obscure noble house until 20,411 BCE. The empire was once formed by Wayaka I, a member of the legendary House of Zexiacy, and began the nation Indiana 21322 BCE after reunifying the tribes of fire, water, air, earth, etc. They gained the title of King of Malaki, a regional monarchy in the north, created as a tribal autonomous zone by Emperor Igneos V, nicknamed the Brutal, who reigned from 20,499 to 20,378 BCE. He is from the House of Zexiacy, and the person from the dynasty he gave it to be its head of the house at the time, who was Virgo Regedan. It was gaining this the title the house began to rise to prominence. And his marriage to Caesarea Esri, the Duchess of Es, is the birth of the dynastical name of Es Malaki. It was during the reign of Magnos I the Brave when the legendary era got its longest reigning monarch, aka Magnos I reigned from 19,972 BCE to 17,821 BCE. Smoldres III aka the Crusader, who reigned from 15,984 BCE to 15,571 BCE when he began the Crusades against the Islamic Galactic Empire of Veronia, which would end Indiana 11144 BCE during the reign of Magnos VIII, 11,225 BCE, 11,000 BCE, in somewhat success due to the empire not being able to be annexed but was able to force it to break apart and collapse. The House of Zexiacy would stop reigning after Magnos VIII decided to retire Indiana 11000 BCE. He chose the young but very ambitious, attractive, intelligent but yet very caring Aurelius Mavalix. He would take on the name as Emperor Agathemius, who would reign for as long American Samoa 11000 BCE to 9432 BCE when he was overthrown by his own son Gamlius, who would go on to reign from 9432 BCE to 9411 BCE, who would also be usurped by his own brother. Eireann the Bloody, the dynasty's only female empress, reigned from 5114 BCE to 3012 BCE until she was overthrown. Romulus IV, nicknamed the Discoverer, reigned from 2987 BCE to 2213 BCE. He usurped/overthrowed his older brother Vexamius II, who reigned from 3012 BCE to 2987 BCE, who was the one who overthrew Eireann. Romulus IV found and discovered many new lands down south and expanded the empire slowly across the island. During the time of 2213 BCE to 2 AD, the king Gordianus the Conqueror was the longest reigning monarch until his retirement in 2 AD. In replacement, the Elementan Council, which was the old legislative body created by Magnos VIII to elect a new monarch in the case of no dynastical continuity. The council voted in Sartorius Volonisus, who would take the emperor name as Veronymix. From his reign from 2 AD to 45 AD he was nicknamed the Brutal.
After 7, the King Scorcher became the Emperor of Elementa in 2018 when an autocratic, Confederacy and bloody hierarchies exterminate with the fire people and animal against the lead and the human collaborative legion is pure as perfect, strong, almighty and powerful, with the ethnic minority and the human is like the upper slave and the other element the animal like the air, the water, the ice, and earth are viewed with tyranny. But in the year 2060, everything will begin to change. The resignation attempt is the ability right to the empire. Scorcher tried to tell his elder son in front of the first and the other successors like the princess Kucherina and the prince Brace, but it was too late. When Region see the fire significant as an opportunity to liberate themselves over to the empire, and due to the amount of rebellions across the empire, and the death of Scorcher himself caused the collapse of the Elemental Empire. As said before, after the death of Emperor Scorcher Elementa entered a period of warlord and factionalism with many purposes, were loyal, nationalist, republican, communist, anarchy as unknown, the etc. But as we mentioned the most important there will be the Elementa emergency government. Premise of the Empire Elementa that the emergency government is a fundamentalist regime ruled by Bittersweat the First, the elder son of Scorcher. The intentions are clear: unite the lines of the former empire in his image. The revolutionary people right front of Elementa, ruled by Martinus Roscius. The revolutionary people right front of Elementa is a communist partisan organization what the intention are to spread the revolution of communists in Elementa. This warlord has three significant factions: the National Communists led by Martinus Roscius, the Ordo Socialist led by Bogoslovsky, the Jews, the anti-Stalinists of our line, led by Byzantine Latinus. But the Ordo Socialist and the Stalinists can go Roscius to accomplish the ambition of a communist element that should be Chapel's divine mandate. He is a religious group who tried to establish a theocracy in Elementa. The Chapel's divine mandate has two paths: the Chapel path and the Chipos path. The Chapel path, Chipos herself was a fresh nuclear system known in her past life. She hoped to renege the loss of Elementa with the wicked legacy of culture. Meanwhile, when in the Chipos path, Washington the Elementa is a ruthless fundamentalist dictatorship on the protect to bring Elementa closer to God. The OFN forces of Bernas. They're basically an intervention of the OFN to stabilize Elementa to prepare to a democratic government. Alternatively, can be ruled by the secret Robert Bear. If you wonder why OFN and main general are Elementa defeated not only be separated by time but also in different galaxies, while according to classical music men during the Scorcher reign, he used portal to capture humans from other dimensions, a possibility with the set to win other species. So it makes sense that he said that there are charted from totally different species from each other. The Anti-Scorcher Liberation Front, also known as the Reign of Nikita, this after the unification or the Elementa People Vanguard after the formation of the government, is a socially partisan group led by Nikita who fought to neck and teeth to his goal to liberate his homeland from Scorcher tyranny. The Republic of Marnas. He is a democratic republic who wants to establish freedom in Elementa. Its leader is Volkatica Melasa. Supposed leaders like Olympio Dio and Albert Soviet Trogu can govern after the election of 2069. Alternatively, there are the other additional paths, such as the Mifo Andronicus, who begins as a great conservative but ends up staging a corporate that throws Elementa into a police state. Mark Augier, who appears to be a paternalistic conservative who turns out to be a fascist populist. The Jesus Christ, which are made up of George Wallace, Storm Thurmond, and Curtis Lee, who after unified Elementa, they formed the American Elementa Confederacy or the Kingdom of American Elementa. If they become king, they can declare themselves as George the First, Agathemus the Second, Storm the First, and Curtis the First. While Disney, who is the successor of Trogu and Jewish government, can be a populist, corporatist, or a federalist, and Sandy who, by unifying Elementa, they join to the state of Texas. No comments. The Elemental National Council, who have been later Republic of Magna, is unified is under fear of Polemus Nasinka, is a more authoritarian version of the Republic of Magna that was formed was ideologically between the liberal rest of the main republic and the more conservative group Olemu ni Nasita, the Institute of National Research and Development, one of the two futurist factions in the Post Scorcher Elementa. There are a group of futurists, Nazi scientists, modern technocrats, and even ultra-visionary socialists who want to become limited to a nation where science and terrorism rule. The leader is Severino Mancinus, the avant-garde state of Serbia. The other future faction Elementa, in his case a group of international naturalists whose leader is Alphasius Xenopius. Basically, just imagine the acceleration first and Arthur von Rothflop, but even more schizophrenic. The Elementa government forces. Junta led by 10-star Elemental General and Man of Honor, the named Afarius Versus. But if they unite becomes the military restoration government of Elementa, they will invade the state of California to secure a foothold in America.
Despite all the possible unifiers mentioned in these minutes, the one considered canon by the creator, classical musicman / yes NI1, is the emergency government of Elementa, which, after the unification of all the northern lands of the old empire, would be consecrated as the Elementa Redemption Order. However, it would have one last war with another contender to the south, the Human National Frontier League, a warlord similar to Yazov of TNO, who wanted to destroy Germany and the Nazis for what they did to Russia. The Human National Frontier League wanted to destroy everyone who was not human, especially the Elementans. This ended in a devastating war against the Elementa Redemption Order, which would almost defeat it. The Elementa Redemption Order would launch its entire nuclear arsenal against the Human National Frontier League, and the League would respond in kind, wiping out both warlords, leaving Elementa in ruins and little more than a radioactive wasteland.
After the war, Elementa returned to be an anarchic chaos, utterly destroyed and contaminated by indiscriminatory use of nuclear weapons. Many nations around the world thought the Herota Elementa had become a desire to intervene, either to genuinely help the habitat of Elementa, stop the disaster, or just take advantage and start the Führer social frontier. And things were not a fear. At least 25 nations had to have their own intervention from superpowers like Germany, Japan, and Italy, minor but important nations like the European Union, France, Canada, the United Kingdom, Turkey, Brazil, Argentina, South Africa, and even very smaller nations like Peru, Bolivia, Uruguay, Cuba, the Dominican Republic, and Haiti. For long, the intervention zone that I covered in his channel was the Reich Commissariat Elementa, which, as you may imagine, is an intervention zone for Germany, which want to add Elementa to its effort and influence. And the truth is, it have many parts, such as the regulars, the rich land, the industrialists, monarchists, as members like human or native collaborators, the Luftwaffe military junta, militaries, esoteric monarchists, and the rich who basically want to the Elementa being incorporated into the Reich. And he is just one of many international interventions that try their best to get even a little bit of the fight that Elementa has become. So I think his outlook I could summarize. The truth is that I want to start this series of video about Elementa. I was also as confused about the history behind Elementa. It's truly quite crazy. I mean, Dragon, portal to another dimension, several crazy universe, and many Nikita from anyone could be quite strange to see together, but it's just interesting in my opinion. I would like to say that the reason I made this video apart from the point to Lord Elementa, it will be the last video of Elementa that I will be making for a while. I think I take a break from TCB. There will be videos from the Elementa video and the channel in general. In one hand, it will be helping people to get a better understanding of Elementa. On the other hand, I would like to expand my content to other like the Fire Races, Colosseum War, Case Rage, Case of Raiders, the Red Front, other dark sci-fi and similar fictional nations. Also, I feel that the continuing with a series of videos that bar because they handle their legs, I think is a waste of time. I hope his video provide a positive feedback for the other Elementa related video. Thanks for watching his video. Just subscribe, share, comment, and in case you're wondering, we hope go to 10 early next year. To say in case the age verification thing ends with YouTube, you can follow me in Odyssey, which I will use temporarily when the situation is resolved or permanently if it worsens. So bye, I guess.